I walked into divorce court prepared to lose everything. The house we had painted together. The business I had spent 15 years building. Even my children if my husband got his way. Then my lawyer leaned toward me, lowered his voice and whispered, "Give him everything." I turned to him, convinced I'd heard wrong. Across the courtroom, my husband's family exchanged satisfied smiles. The kind people where when they think victory is already theirs. I looked back at my attorney. He simply nodded once. "Trust me." My heart pounded so loudly I barely heard the judge begin speaking. I remember staring at my wedding ring, still tucked inside my purse because I hadn't found the courage to throw it away. Funny, the little things your mind notices while your life is falling apart. The ticking courthouse clock. The smell of stale coffee drifting from the hallway. The way sunlight landed across the polished floor as though this morning was ordinary. It wasn't. It was the day I thought I would lose my entire future. My husband, Daniel, looked confident. His expensive suit fit perfectly. His parents sat behind him with folded arms and smug expressions. They had never believed I deserved the success we'd built together. According to them, Daniel was the visionary. I was the helpful wife. Those words echoed through my mind because I'd heard them for years. Helpful wife. Never partner. Never founder. Never the woman who stayed awake until 3 a.m. writing business proposals while the light inside the refrigerator illuminated untouched leftovers because dinner had gone cold again. I couldn't stop thinking about those nights. Back when we started our construction consulting company from our garage outside Denver. Daniel loved networking, shaking hands, making promises. I handled everything else. Accounting, contracts, hiring engineers, preparing presentations for board meetings, solving problems when projects went sideways. Clients called asking for me. Daniel answered first. Then transferred them with a smile that never reached his eyes. At first, I believed marriage meant sharing success. Somewhere along the way, sharing quietly became surrendering. The children noticed before I did. Emma once asked, after her Little League baseball game, "Why does Daddy always tell people he built the company?" I laughed awkwardly. Changed the subject. Now I wish I hadn't. Children deserve honest answers. The divorce didn't begin because of money. It began because I discovered Daniel had another apartment downtown. Another life. Another woman. When I confronted him, he didn't apologize. He sighed. Actually sighed. Asking questions won't change anything. Those 6 words ended a marriage faster than discovering the affair itself. After that, everything became negotiations. The house. The company. Savings. Custody. His attorney demanded nearly everything. Daniel insisted he deserved complete ownership because he was the face of the business. His parents encouraged him every step. "You'll build it back bigger without her," his father whispered once, loud enough for me to hear. Maybe he believed it. Maybe Daniel did too. Back in the courtroom, my attorney calmly stood. "We accept." The room went quiet. Daniel blinked. His lawyer blinked. Even the judge paused. My attorney continued. "My client agrees to transfer operational ownership of the company, the marital residence and associated assets as requested." I felt physically sick. The papers blurred. My children glanced toward me from the hallway where my sister waited with them. Emma looked frightened. I forced myself to smile. Just breathe. Trust him. Trust someone for once. Daniel's family practically celebrated before the hearing even ended. His mother hugged him. His father laughed. "You won," he said proudly. Daniel looked toward me. "I told you this would be easier." I said nothing. Because for the first time in months, silence belonged to me. 3 weeks passed. I moved into a modest townhouse in a quiet suburban neighborhood. Smaller kitchen. Smaller backyard. Peacefully quiet. The children stayed with me every other week under the temporary custody arrangement. We baked cookies. Watched late-night television when thunderstorms rolled through. Life felt strangely lighter despite everything I'd supposedly lost. The phone rang. It was Daniel. His voice sounded different. "What did you do?" I stared out my kitchen window. "I don't know what you mean. The company's accounts are frozen." I closed my eyes. My lawyer had predicted this exact call. "You own the business now," I answered carefully. "You should know." He shouted. "Nobody told me about the debt." Debt. There was. The secret hidden beneath everything. Months before filing for divorce, Daniel had secretly borrowed millions against the company, forging expansion plans, guaranteeing loans personally, without reading the clauses I always handled. He thought rapid growth would impress investors. Projects collapsed. Contracts failed. The company became responsible for crushing liabilities. He'd signed every document himself. Because during those last 18 months, he'd gradually pushed me out of financial decisions, claiming I worried too much, claiming I slowed progress. What he never realized, I'd quietly documented every meeting, every signature, every warning email advising against those loans. My attorney had discovered them during divorce disclosures. That's when he leaned over in his office weeks earlier. Legally, he explained, the ownership isn't the prize. I frowned. What is? The debt. I finally understood. Keeping half the company would have meant inheriting half its financial disaster. Giving Daniel exactly what he demanded transferred every obligation attached to it. Completely. Lawfully. He hadn't stolen my future. He'd insisted on taking the burden himself. Over the following months, reality unfolded exactly as my lawyer predicted. Creditors arrived. Lawsuits multiplied. Banks demanded payment. Daniel's father tried refinancing the family vacation property to help. It wasn't enough. His mother stopped posting smiling family photographs online. The expensive downtown apartment disappeared. So did the luxury SUV. The business entered bankruptcy proceedings. My name never appeared in a single filing. Because I wasn't an owner anymore. I was simply a former spouse. One rainy afternoon, Daniel asked to meet. We sat across from each other in a small coffee shop. He looked older. Not because of time. Because consequences age people differently. I thought you tricked me, he admitted. I wrapped both hands around my coffee. I warned you about those loans. I know. I begged you to slow down. I know. Silence settled between us. Finally he whispered, I stopped listening a long time before you left. That sentence landed heavier than any apology. He wasn't asking me to come back. He already knew that door had closed. Weeks later, custody mediation reached its final stage. The judge reviewed everything. The children's wishes, school records, stability, cooperation. I received primary custody. Not because Daniel was a bad father. Because his financial collapse left him constantly traveling, meeting attorneys, chasing solutions that no longer existed. Emma hugged me outside the courthouse. Our son Mason squeezed my hand all the way to the parking garage. Neither asked who had won. Children rarely care about winning. They care about where home feels safe. These days I still wake before sunrise. Coffee first. Always coffee. The kitchen is smaller now but somehow brighter. Sometimes I catch the refrigerator light glowing in the darkness while packing lunches before school. It reminds me of those long nights building someone else's dream. Only now, the dream belongs to me. Last month I accepted an executive position with a national engineering firm in Chicago. During my first board meeting, someone introduced me as the strategist behind several successful companies. For a second, I almost corrected them. Old habits. Then I simply smiled. Because this time nobody interrupted. Nobody claimed my work. Nobody called me the helpful wife. I walked into divorce court believing survival meant holding on to everything I'd built. Instead, I learned that real freedom sometimes begins the moment you stop fighting to keep what no longer serves you. Dawn spills through my windows now, my children laugh upstairs getting ready for school, and the future waiting beyond that front door feels lighter than the life I spent years trying so desperately to save. If this story touched your heart or reminded you that strength often comes from the hardest moments, please like this video and subscribe for more unforgettable stories. Your support means more than you know and helps us keep sharing meaningful journeys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.